and good afternoon. So this will be a very quick video. I just want to talk about how you can keep your losses very small. So in this game, you just want to keep your losses as minimal as possible, and today was an example of that. So as you can see, I took these shots here and they went in my direction for a little bit with this week, but they did not really actualize because I was targeting the relative equal loss that I will show you on when I'm breaking down this trade. So you can see that I was able to exit right here. So this was a very small loss, and my initial stop loss was at 76.09, but I ended up getting off at 75.97. All right. So this is a very good example of how you can actually keep your losses at a minimum. Okay. So the point is keep your losses small and your wins big. Okay. So let's go to the trade and I'll show you how we had gotten to that trade. So I had posted in the morning, I think I had posted in the morning that what I wanted to see. So we'll break it down together from the top. So as usual, let's start from the daily chart real quick. I'll just do a very quick recap. So as you can see, yesterday on Monday, we had a bullish day on both assets. So we also had a bullish day right here on Mr. SPN 500. Okay, so we had that bullish trade to the upside. So I wanted to see a continuation of that today. Okay, so when I came back to the lower time frame, we had that on the 1 hour chart. I noticed that what the London session did, because when you're trading a certain session, you need to look at what the previous session has done as usual. So when I came to the London session, to the New York session, I just wanted to see what the London session had done. And as you can see, we had this surge to the upside from 2 a.m. We created this high and then we started to displace to the downside. Okay, so we had been reacting from this order block. So this was a 1 hour order block. So soon as we got that, I also went to US 100 to check if we had the same thing. Really quick. Then I noticed that we had the same thing, and I also noticed that we had a 1 hour SMT, because this was the high that was created on US 100. So the high was created at 5 a.m. But you can see that on SP 500, the high that was made at 4 a.m. was being respected. So that became an SMT between this high and this low. Yes. Okay. So that becomes an SMT, very good SMT that we can use to take our trades. And then remember in the morning, when I gave out today's setup, this is what I had drawn. We had this 4 hour fair value gap where I expected price to react from, and then we had all this sell side liquidity in the form of relative equal lows resting just above that imbalance. So that becomes a very strong point that we can use to take our long positions from. Okay, so this one becomes our relative equal lows. So that is what I label as REHS for relative equal highs and RELs for relative equal lows. Okay, so I'll just change that. So that became my relative equal lows, and as soon as price dipped in, so I just wanted to see price dipping into this level. Okay, on both assets. All right, so even on the screenshot that I shared in the morning in my Telegram channel and to my VIP students and members. So we have this 4 hour fair value gap, and then we have this all this sell side liquidity resting just above. So that is what I want to see getting swept. So we have this, then we have this, all that is sell side liquidity that can get swept before we take the continuation of longs, because as I said, I wanted to see price continue to the upside. So I just wanted to see price dip into this level and then continue. So on the 1 hour, when I saw that we are starting to get some willingness to come and get this relative equal lows on the 1 hour chart, I took that opportunity because we were opening a new 6 a.m. candle, and the New York Open, which runs from 2 to 7, was about to to reach. Okay, so you can see that we had that. So this becomes my last up close candle, and then I got this change in state of delivery. So that is how I took that trade, and of course I took the trade on the pair that created the lower high. Okay, so US 100 created a higher high between the 4 a.m. high and the 5 a.m. high, while on US 500 we maintained this high, okay, the original 4 a.m. high. So I took this trade on the one that is showing me more bearish signs. Okay, so I took the trade on a 1 hour chart. I did not need to go any lower. So as soon as we got uh, this confirmation right here that we have a 1 hour change in state of delivery, which I marked for you guys last time. So again, you will see these concepts being repeated in my channel and as I teach these things. So you can see that we got that to the downside, and then I took that trade right here at 75.91. Think, let me confirm. Yes, yes, that's where we took the trade with my VAP team. I shared that setup with them. 75.94 around there. So as we were forming this week, that was my entry as the 1 hour week was forming. Okay, and we really got a nice movement right here, but it reversed on us. So that brings me now to the topic of the day: how to keep your losses small. Okay, so here is the trick. Okay, when I entered this trade right here, my stop loss was just above the current daily high, right here, because this becomes a protected high, the one that creates the SMT, the original high and the lower high. So this becomes a protected high. So I do not want to see it getting taken out. So, and then my target is this relative equal lows. Okay, we have this, and we have this. So we can actually bring this here so that it looks better. So this was my target. You can see it was a very good trade, a 2.5 hour trade actually. So I entered there. I was targeting the relative equal lows. Okay, so just to mention how the topic that I wanted to take you through is how to keep your losses small, because as I have shown you on the screenshot, you can see that I did not wait for price to come all the way to 76.04. Okay, so I can run it back up so that you guys can see. You can see I did not wait for price to come all the way to 76 to this high, because this was the original high of this trade. I did not wait for that. No. I got my invalidation way earlier. So this stop loss was just there just to ensure that in case it does in one spike, I am protected. But you always need an invalidation that is lower. Okay, so here is how I came up with that invalidation. Okay, so remember I entered using a 1 hour change in state of delivery. So if I want to see lower prices being delivered, and if I want to see these relative equal lows being hunted, of course I do not want to see any candles on a 1 hour level closing above. Let me hide the drawings. I do not want to see any candles closing above the level that we used for our entry. So the level was 75.93. That is where we got our change in state of delivery. Okay, so I do not want to see any bodies closing above that on a 1 hour level, of course. Okay, so those are some of the rules of order flow that as an ICT traders we have to follow. So as soon as that happened right here at 74.94, and then this new candle opened, I closed that trade, because once this happened on the 1 hour chart, we already now have a bullish change in state of delivery, because now this becomes the last down close candle that dipped into some area of maybe imbalance, and then we got that change in state to the upside, and you can see what happened next. My stop loss was taken out. So if I did not have this invalidation level, then I would have taken a bigger loss than I had to. Okay, so basically that is how you manage your trade. And maybe to go to the 15-minute, where you could have also used another invalidation. So you can see that when we took the trade, I think we took it at around here. Yes, around 8. So you can see that another method of invalidation that you could have used is this piece of price action that you can see right here. So you can see this high that is created, then price pushes lower, and then when that high is broken, that becomes a market structure shift. Okay, so this right here becomes a market structure shift. So as soon as that happens, if you are watching price from the lower time frames, as soon as price breaks here with this strength, okay, now that becomes another reason for you to close that trade even before your stop loss is hit, and you are able to save yourself from a lot. So let's also look at the 5 minute, and you'll notice the same thing. Okay, so we have this set of down close candle, these three, not three, around five candles to the downside. Soon as they are breaking to the upside and price closes above, not wicks. So as soon as you get something like that, that is a signal that price is about to go against you. So these are some of the things that help you keep your losses as small as possible, and it makes sure you are able to make sure that you are also still following what price is telling you. So as soon as that happened for me on the 1 hour chart, I closed that trade, and we were able to mitigate our losses from maybe a 1 hour to a negative 0.5 hour. And yeah, so that's it for that. Remember, keep your losses small, and your wins as big as you can. Thank you for watching. Make sure you follow me, subscribe, and all that. See you on the next one. Peace.